Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Bebo. In this video, we're going to continue talking about combining operations with linear expressions. And these are some really difficult story problems. And so we're going to hopefully help clear up some of those issues when you see questions that are like the following. So on this first one, it says a garden consists of a rectangular sitting region surrounded by a flower border. The sitting region has a length of 3x feet and a width of 5 feet. The flower border is 3 feet wide. We're going to write an expression in factored form that represents the area of the flower border. So with this problem, my first step to do this is to draw a picture. I don't know why this question does not provide one, because it really does help us to visualize what's going on. So what I have here, this gray box is going to represent the sitting area, and then the green is going to be that flower border. So this is just, again, a really nice strategy. It's so simple. Just draw yourself a picture. So that's what we did. Step 2 now is to label the picture with the information that is provided to us in this question. So they tell us that the flower border is 3 feet wide. So here would be 3 feet, right? This would be 3 feet here. This is 3 feet. This is also 3 feet, right? So it's 3 feet all the way around. This rectangular sitting area, the one that's gray, has a length of 3x feet. So maybe we just make this 3x here. And then the other direction, right, is going to be considered the 5 feet. Or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. But it just helps us see, okay, we got 3x on one side of this and then 5 feet across the other. So now we also need to look at, okay, we're going to eventually end up subtracting this gray section from the green section to find the area of just the flower border, because that's our goal, is to find out just the area of the green space. So to do that, to find the area, well, the area of the gray is pretty easy, right? That's just the 3x times 5. We got this as our length, we got this as our width, right? So 3x times 5 would be the math that we would do to figure out the area of the gray space. So 3x times 5, that's just 15x. So that's the area of the gray space. The green gets a little bit trickier. So the green, we have to go through and think of it as if this gray space isn't there, right? So like if I were to delete this, right, pretend it's not there, we need that visualization to help us figure out what this whole space is so that we can then subtract the gray space from it. So with that being said, the entire side length of this green here is going to consist of the 3, the 3x, and the 3, right? Because you're going all the way across from one side to the other. So you got 3 plus 3 plus 3x. So if I write out my steps, 3 plus 3 plus 3x. So this is going to be, if I write it more in standard form, 3x plus 6, right? So that is the length. And then going the other direction, right, this way across, taking a look at the values I have there, we have a 3, a 5, and a 3. Again, going all the way across this direction now on this image. 3 plus 5 plus 3 is going to be 11. So to find the area of the green space, again, if we ignored the gray that's in there, you're going to be doing 11 times this quantity of 3x plus 6. So distributing, you'd have 33x plus 66. So now we're going to find the area of the flower border by taking this area of the green minus the area of that gray space that was in the middle. So the 33x plus 66, we're going to subtract the 15x expression from that. And essentially, with this one, I put the parentheses in, but really you actually don't need them. So we could just ignore those again. And then just think of this as adding a negative 15x, combining those two like terms. 33 minus 15 is going to end up being 18x plus 66. That would be my answer that's not factored, but they do want us to have our answer in factored form, so we just have to figure out, okay, what's the largest number that both 18 and 66 can be divided by? That is going to end up being 6. So to factor it, 6 is my GCF, so inside the parentheses, 6 times what is 18x? That would be 3x, plus, and then 6 times what is 66? That would be 11. And then that would be my final answer here. So again, quite the setup for it, but really it all starts with draw yourself a picture, label that picture, and then go from there. So now the next example is very similar, except for the question does give us a picture, which makes it a little bit easier. Not super easy, but it does make it a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about drawing yourself that image. So this one says that Mindy's dog kennel sits in the corner of a field as shown in the diagram. The walkway around the kennel is 4 feet wide. Write an expression in factored form that represents the area of the walkway around the kennel. So essentially, we're just trying to find the area of this grassy space, right? And so they tell us again that this dog house, right, or dog kennel is 6, so it's a 6 up here by 2x. So the area of this gray space, which is what I'm using to represent the dog kennel, is going to be 6 times 2x, again, length times width. So 6 times 2x, and so that's going to be 12x. Now, for the area for this green, again, we're going to pretend like this isn't here, right? We're like, this isn't here. So this whole side length here, right, 4 plus 6 is 10. So it's 10 feet by, then we have this 4 feet plus 2x. So to write out the area for the green space, we would have 10 times, so again, length times our 2x plus 4, the width. Or 4 plus 2x. Again, I just usually write them in standard form. So using the distributive property, this would be equal to 20x plus 40. So just like the last question, to figure out the area that's left, that's not taken up by the kennel, we're going to subtract the two expressions. So we're going to take the 20x plus 40, and we're going to subtract the 12x. Very similar to the last question, we can actually ignore these parentheses since the 12x is just a single term. We can rewrite that though as plus negative 12x, and then again, these two are going to be combined since those are like terms. So 20x plus negative 12x is going to be 8x, and then we have plus 40. It does tell us they want us to factor the answer. So to factor, again, you're going to think, okay, what's the biggest number that both 8 and 40 can be divided by? That is going to be 8. And so we'll have x plus 5 left inside the parentheses, and then that's going to be our final answer there. So that's it for this video. Hopefully that helps with combining operations with linear expressions and those application types of problems. Thank you so much for watching.